We had to go to training, Joe, and taught us how to use she, her pronouns. Again, a senior in college, I'm like, am I really?
Taught you how. You, an actual she, her.
An actual she, her.
How do you use she, her pronouns?
Welcome to Stop the Madness. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Stop the Madness. I'm your host, The Kid Plot, my co-host, Isaac Cotto. We are back in the building with another great episode. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you're notified when we make more videos like this. What are we talking about today?
It's a hot topic, as everybody knows, but it's one of the stories before we got together that I talked about.
Okay.
And I think it may be the story that gave us the name of the podcast. And I saw the story, and I literally said in the intro of the video, I said, stop the madness, right? Because male competitors competing about saying they're females and competing in female sports, right? So we got Riley Gaines. She's a NCAA swimming champion. And she tells the story how she competed in the national championships against Lia Thomas.
Right.
Who's a 6'4" male athlete that identifies as female, and basically came in and started breaking all the records and all this kind of stuff. And apparently in the Joe Rogan podcast, which is something I never heard before, she mentions how Joe Rogan makes the question, says, was he still involved with females at the time this is all going on?
Does Lia Thompson have sex with girls?
What?
Lia Thomas, rather.
Yeah. At the time, again, this is what I know based off of what his teammates have told me and what really has been public knowledge based off what they post and different things. At the time of that national championships, he was still dating women and active with women.
Sexually. So obviously has testosterone.
Yes. But now, again, based off of social media, he is engaged to another man who claims to be a woman. So two men, but they call themselves lesbians. So who knows?
You got new information.
Yeah. This is what's shocking to me.
Bombshell information.
We already know he's walking in the locker room, has all his male parts, changing with these females, and she talks about how, putting on these suits as female swimmers, like it's tighter than a bikini. Yeah. And you got this dude walking around putting on the same outfit.
Right.
But then she talks about he still was dating females.
Oh, wow.
While they're all competing against females and in the female locker room.
Oh.
And the dude still, so in his mind, I guess in the trans mind, he's lesbian.
But and that's the problem, and that's the reason why it's hard to take I guess if you want to call it the real transsexual people serious, because when you have people that can literally just come out of nowhere and say, I identify as whatever sex they want to identify as, so they identify as a man or identify as a woman, this is the problem, because you'll have some that are literally just doing it for an edge in sports or an edge in whatever it is they're trying to participate in that gives them the edge. So most of the time, a biological male that transitions to a woman, if they're not having success in their sport, in this particular case, what do? You go in and compete against the opposite sex. I identify as this particular gender. This is it, right? So this is why it's dangerous, though, because you have some people that are really mentally, in my opinion, they're just mentally ill. But this guy, he might not be mentally ill. He just wants an edge. Because if he's still seeing women and competing against women as a man, you're not mentally ill. You're just a cheater.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. My train of thought thinking, like, if you really believe you're in the wrong body, so
which is what I'm saying. I don't think he believes that.
Right. And so I'm a male. I truly believe I'm in the male body. My male sexual organs should almost disgust me.
Exactly.
Right? But the fact that he's dating,
which to me is a mental illness,
like, that he's having it's almost it's the challenges gay athletes have in these male-dominated sports, like football, basketball, NFL.
Yeah.
You know, it's very uncomfortable as a heterosexual athlete
Yeah.
knowing that Joe, the homosexual, is in the locker room.
Yeah.
I'm naked. I'm changing. I can have a conversation and not have any fear that the person I'm talking to is looking at me with sexual eyes.
Well, homosexuals, they don't have I don't think that's a mental illness. I think the trans is a mental illness.
Yeah, but I'm saying the same challenge, right? So here you have a male who says he's female mentally, but yet clearly he's attracted to female.
Right. Which is why anybody could just lie. And how do you question them? Because you can't question shit nowadays. You can't question shit.
That is a problem. That is the issue, and I think you see all the movies flopping. You see all the woke issues, and Disney having issues making money, and hopefully it starts changing.
And it's a damn shame because Hollywood is promoting it too. I mean, Hollywood is promoting the same thing. Like this movie, remember the movie Friday with Ice Cube?
Yep.
Is it Ice Cube? Yeah, Ice Cube. All right. So the reason why there's no new Friday, Ice Cube said it himself, is because it doesn't meet the agenda. It's not the part of the agenda of Hollywood. Because what does Friday represent? It's a family movie of men figuring shit out.
Basically,
we figure it out one way or another, right? So that's not what they want. They don't want to push that agenda. Their agenda is a lot more. Their agenda is more violent based. It's not about. It's more segregation of the family. That's just what we see because that's the reason why in this particular country right now, what do we have? We have 4% of 4%. I believe is the number of marriages that actually of a household that's mother and father.
4%.
I think it's 4%. Where before it was 40% in this country.
Sure, I mean
it's a lot lower than it used to be.
I think at these top level like the NCAA and all this kind of stuff. Like the only way real change can happen, you literally would have to have a team boycott. Like, hey, we're not going to compete. Like if you're going to allow males to walk in, not only in the locker room, but to walk in and start dominating a sport I practiced and trained my entire life to be good at, and the scrub, the 30th man on the male roster can switch over to the female side and all of a sudden is the best at whatever category. No, I mean, I would say just boycott the whole thing until the NCAA makes changes.
Yeah,
like
man.
It just makes no sense. Now, apparently, the professional leagues or they're separating it out where each league, as far as college is separating it out where now each individual league makes those decisions. And there was one that said, there's one league, I don't know if it's soccer, that says if you've gone through puberty, then you cannot compete, right? So most males gone to, but that doesn't stop someone who's taking puberty blockers to not compete as a female. But even if you take puberty blockers, you're still genetically a male, and you're still going to have the benefits of a male. I think it's just a challenging topic because, as some form of athlete, since I was 15 and you competing in sports also, I think this is one topic that we just...
Yeah, I might have got the number wrong. I'm trying to remember because I remember reading the study, but as far as the percentages of the country of people getting married versus what they were in the past, like in the 1940s versus now, is totally different. I don't remember the exact number. I think it was 4%, but either way, we do know that it has decreased a shit ton from what it used to be back just 20, 30 years ago.
PPD said something like that. Like,
he was the one
the most gayest.
Yeah, he's the one that said it, and then I looked it up, and he was right, and I can't remember what the percentage was, but either way, we know it's decreased a shit ton.
My daughter was late elementary school, maybe middle school, when gay marriage became legal. So she might have just been starting middle school. Bro, it was amazing, the transition of just between the kids, how they, all of a sudden something that was taboo, it was like a tidal wave of like, oh, it's normal to be gay. It's normal, it's no problem. It's just the mind frames is just completely changed. Where a generation before that, it was like, hey, you need to keep that at home, your own private life, your own family, deal with it. But now it just...
Well, because what's happening is first you normalize, then you legalize. That's how you make agendas. That's how you push agendas. You normalize, then legalize. What do they do with marijuana? You normalize it, then you legalize it. You normalize trans, then you start legalizing the marriage of it. They're trying to head that way. You normalize homosexuals, now we allow homosexuals to get married. That back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, you couldn't same sex couldn't get married nowhere. Yeah. So what do? You normalize it, then you legalize it. That's just the pattern.
I mean, it's unfortunate because I think, as individuals, as being an attorney, everyone should have certain rights, right? So if you're dying of cancer, your boyfriend can't make decisions for you unless they're your spouse, right? So I think, you should have the dignity to have that right. But when it comes to I think this is one area I think it should be non-debatable in the athletic setting. It should be no debate. Hey, you want to be gay, you want to have rights, you want to be able to have a job, and if you're gay, it shouldn't stop you from getting a job. That to me makes more sense. But when it comes to athletics, specifically as a male, if I was to compete against female jiu-jitsu players, I would fucking be amazing.
They're normalizing and legalizing. They're letting these guys compete against women, and then you see the results. Yeah. What happens with porn, with the adult entertainment? Just 20, 30 years ago, it was not this easy to access. The internet existed 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago. It existed. It wasn't this easy to access. Now, it's super easy to access that an 8-year-old can access it.
For sure. All right, well, man, it's a topic that's gonna keep coming up, and I have no problem to keep talking about it. It's not gonna be the last scenario, and unfortunately, or fortunately, how you want to see it, on the political spectrum, these are some of the areas that are gonna change a lot of voters' decisions on who they're gonna vote for. So,
facts, money in the bank.
Yes, I'm one of those individuals.
Yeah, man, it's very tough, but that's where we're at in 2024.
Like, subscribe. If you agree, disagree, please comment, and we see y'all next week.
Peace.
If you like this video, subscribe to the channel, click right here.
Or if you want to see more videos like this, click here.